All right, let's talk about the 2026 AI Productivity Playbook. And I want you to just forget everything you think you know, because this isn't some far-off prediction. This is what the absolute top teams are doing right now, today.
So let me ask you something. Do you still think of AI as, I don't know, a smarter search engine? Maybe a fancy chatbot that helps you write emails? If that's where your head is at, get ready, because you're about to see how much the entire game has already changed.
Seriously, if you're stuck thinking in terms of just simple prompts and responses, you are missing out on what is probably the biggest shift in computing since the internet itself. We have graduated from simple tools, we're in a whole new era of AI now. So let's break down exactly what that means.
Okay, so the key idea here, the big one, is something called agentic AI. Think about it like this. You give it a goal, a big one, like, hey, launch a new marketing campaign for our product. Now, a simple AI might spit out some ad copy, but an agentic AI? No. It's going to research your audience, draft the entire strategy, create the visuals, schedule the posts, and then, get this, it'll even analyze the results for you. You barely have to touch it. It's not just a tool you use, it's more like an autonomous part.
And you know what's so fascinating is how people are framing this new reality. I saw one industry report that just nailed it. It said we've entered an era of autonomous orchestration. And that word orchestration is key. It means your job isn't about doing the tasks anymore. It's about being the conductor, the orchestrator of all these AI systems.
So what does that actually look like day to day, being an orchestrator? Well, it all starts with the tools you're using. And let me tell you, we are way beyond a simple chatbot now. Look, general-purpose AI is great for a lot of things, don't get me wrong, but the real magic, the big productivity gains, are happening with specialized platforms. These are tools built from the ground up for very specific, very valuable kinds of work. We're talking deep research, visual design, coding, you name it. Let's take research, for example. You've got Google's Notebook LM. Now, this isn't just some glorified notepad. Its whole architecture is source-grounded, which is a fancy way of saying it only uses the documents you give it. Why does that matter? It totally eliminates those weird AI hallucinations. But here's the crazy part. It has this audio overview feature. It can literally turn your boring, dense reports into a podcast. You can ask for a 20-minute deep dive, a 5-minute brief, or, and this is wild, a full-on debate where two AIs argue different points from your own material. And this kind of specialized power isn't just in research, it's popping up everywhere.
Over in visual design, it's the same story. You've got Gamma AI, which is amazing for turning a wall of text into a slick, interactive presentation, perfect for a client pitch. Then, on the other hand, you've got something like Napkin AI. Its whole job is to take complex ideas and turn them into clean, easy-to-understand visuals, like a flowchart. See? Totally different tools for totally different creative jobs.
And then, of course, there's coding. Man, the landscape here is just white hot. You've got the big player, GitHub Copilot, which is kind of the industry standard for teams, but right on its heels you have challengers like Cursor, which isn't just a plugin, it's an entire coding environment built from the ground up for AI. And then there's Windsurf, which is all about speed and making this stuff accessible with a really solid free version.
Okay, but here's the million-dollar question. Does just having all these shiny new tools automatically make you more productive? Well, not so fast. There was this fascinating study in 2025 that found something really surprising. For really complex coding tasks, these AI assistants actually slowed down the pros. Why? Because they had to spend so much extra time reviewing and fixing the code the AI pumped out.
And that right there perfectly tees up our next point. This isn't just about having the coolest tools. It's about your strategy. Because honestly, the best AI in the world is completely useless if you don't have the right human mindset to actually guide it.
So where do you start? It's simple, really. Before you can even think about automating your work, you have to get a handle on your most precious, non-renewable resource, your time. You have to know exactly where it's going.
And this is where something called the personal time audit comes in. It's super straightforward. For just 1 week, you track your work in 30-minute chunks. That's it. You label everything. Is this strategic work, meetings, admin? And at the end of the week, you look at the data. You will be shocked to see where your time is actually leaking away. Once you know that, you can unleash an AI scheduler like Motion or Reclaim, and just like that, they can automatically claw back 5, maybe even 10 hours for you every single week.
Okay, so that's you as an individual. Now let's zoom out and apply that same logic to a whole company. There's this thing called the AI Maturity Framework, and it's basically a roadmap. Most places start at level 0. Think manual spreadsheets, endless emails. Then they climb to level 2, where AI starts helping with little bits and pieces. But the end game, the holy grail, is level 5, strategic automation. That's where AI is running entire projects, and the humans, well, we get to focus on the big picture, on strategy, on what's coming next.
And this brings us to our final and honestly, most critical section. Because as people and companies start climbing this ladder, a huge gap is opening up, a massive divide. The data is showing clear as day, a split between those who are adapting and those who are getting left behind.
Let's just look at the raw numbers. In just 1 year, the volume of messages on enterprise AI platforms, it didn't just go up. It grew 8x. 8 times. That isn't slow, gradual adoption. That's a full-blown explosion.
But it's not just about more messages, it's about how smart those messages are. The use of what are called API reasoning tokens. Think of these as the fuel for more complex, brainy AI tasks. That usage has shot up 320 times per organization. That's an insane number. It tells us that AI is being woven into the most critical, sophisticated parts of the business.
And what's the payoff for all this? It's real and it's tangible. The average active user in a company is saving 60 minutes every single day. That's an hour of your life back, an hour you can use for deep thinking, for strategy, for anything other than busy work.
Okay, but here's where that great divide I mentioned becomes impossible to ignore. Let's take a frontier worker. That's someone in the top 5% of users. They send 6 times more messages to AI than the average person. 6 times! But get this, for coding tasks, that number jumps to 17 times. The top users are playing a completely different sport. This means if you're just an average user, you're already falling way behind.
And don't for a second think this is just some Silicon Valley thing. This is happening everywhere. It's a global tidal wave. You look at places like Australia, Brazil, France, their enterprise AI use grew over 140% in just 1 year. The race is on, and it is a worldwide race.
So that brings us back to the beginning. As we look at 2026, the question for you is actually pretty simple. Are you going to be an operator, someone who just takes directions from the system, or are you going to be the orchestrator, the one who tells the system what to do? The choice really is yours.